Welcome to our video focusing on Christian counseling, chronic stress, and narrative care. I'm Dr. Johan Martin. I'm a clinical counselor and I specialize in chronic stress-related conditions and disorders. I'm the author of the book Moving On from Chronic Stress to Sustainable Resilience. Thank you for watching this video. In this video, I will introduce you to narrative care as a therapeutic approach, both to counseling in general and to Christian counseling in particular. Narrative care. Why narrative care? There are more than 350 counseling theories and therapies available today. Why narrative care? The essence of narrative care was sown like a seed into my heart many years ago when I came across Jesus' comment. I was hungry and you fed me, thirsty and you gave me a drink, a stranger and you received me, naked and you clothed me, sick and you took care of me, in prison and you visited me. Whenever you did this for one of the least important, you did it for me. I later realized that from a neurobiological, mental, social, and spiritual perspective, this comment actually revolved around helping chronically distressed individuals, couples, families, and family members. In a rapidly changing and inconsistent world, inundated with information, sensory overload, and overwhelming demands, where anything goes, anywhere, anytime, with whoever consents or doesn't, we tend to experience so-called freedom to the point of being frustratingly confused and overwhelmed by life and feeling terrible, a post-modernistic disaster. Many of us struggle with stress-related disorders and conditions, directly and indirectly due to personal, micro, or more general macro disasters. Chronic stress perhaps became the most disruptive influence in our society. Touched by the devastating impact chronic stress has on myself and those around me, I realized that we have to be proactive. We have to intentionally develop sustainable resilience, preferably even before facing those extremely traumatic circumstances that may stress sensitize us in the short to medium term and may eventually spill over into the kind of chronic stress that may trigger, aggravate, prolong, or maintain various forms of physical, mental, social, and spiritual pathology. So I decided to join in the counseling model conversation by developing narrative care as a therapeutic approach both to counseling in general and to Christian counseling in particular. Narrative care adheres to neurobiological, neuropsychotherapeutic, and biblical principles, and deals specifically with chronic stress-related conditions and disorders experienced by those who feel anxious, scared, angry, irritated, unwell, lonely, bereaved, or hopeless, controlled, guilty, ashamed, disregarded, betrayed, deprived, frustrated, financially insecure, overloaded, and confused. I eventually shared the step-by-step development of narrative care as a therapeutic approach in a book titled Moving On from Chronic Stress to Sustainable Resilience. The goal of narrative care is embedded in this title. I followed the logical lead set by the neurobiology behind information processing and sprinkled the discourse with biblical principles along the way. In an endeavor to communicate effectively with a wide spectrum of readers, I used easy-to-read examples from my own life as a case study. And I just prayed that we will always be motivated, energized, and empowered by moments of clearer insight into the awesomeness of our existence. Insight that kindles timely wisdom where merely intellectual knowledge or even the finest skills cannot reach. During my research, I realized that some of us experience chronic emotional distress, but at the same time, we are prepared to live with it without contemplating the life-threatening and heartbreaking consequences that may develop because of it. That may be you or your loved one today. You may not see a way forward for yourself or for your loved one. Based on my findings shared in this book, I want to encourage you with the assurance that we can actually break through the devastating, cruel prison of chronic stress. We can develop sustainable resilience irrespective of our circumstances. We can actually feel good, have a clear mind again, develop and sustain meaningfully enriched relationships with God above all, with people in general, and with our loved ones in particular. We all know that nothing changes if nothing changes. So we have to move on, to make sustainable lifestyle adjustments, not in a rigidly structured and boringly monotonous military motion like in marching, but in a creatively and innovatively structured, meaningful and enjoyable motion like in dancing. While moving on, we will be confronted with the typical ins and outs of a distressing lifestyle that holds us captive and has an effect on how safely we live, how good we feel, how clearly we think, and how likable and spiritually healthy we are. The narrative care approach introduces us to the non-negotiable aspects of sustainable and wholesome resilience in general, as well as to the powerfully enriching or compromising impact our speech behavior specifically has on our general health and well-being in the broader sense of the word. Thank you for watching this video. In follow-up videos, I will explain every detail of narrative care as a therapeutic approach to counseling in general and to Christian counseling in particular. Have a great day and see you later.